Hey everyone, doing a little work in the garage today while I'm waiting for an employer to call me back, or well, potential almost employer to call me back. Yeah, I may have a job, I may not. Less than a month unemployed. I think I'm doing pretty good. If not, well, hey, I got tools, I got equipment, I got stuff going on around me. I guess I could go into business on my own. It is a thought. It is something that I have considered, but right now I'm doing a little bit of carpentry, and I thought I'd show you what exactly I'm doing so that maybe you can learn a few things about layout and how to work with like angles and stuff. Stuff that like your math teacher probably tried to teach you in school, but you probably forgot and you probably weren't interested in the way they were teaching it anyways. And I know this because I used to be a math teacher. So let me show you. All right, so I am making a bookshelf, and this is the back piece of the bookshelf. It is, if you can see the lines, it is in the shape of a coffin. So yeah, this is going to be really cool when it's done. But a couple things I want to show you. One, if you notice when I drew this here, I drew in the thickness of the wood. That helps me figure things out. This would be just like if you were doing a handrail, because I do my handrail the same way, where I'll actually draw in the width of the tubing. It helps, trust me on this. But what I did when I made this, I started with a 6 foot by 2 foot piece of 1/4 inch plywood. It's going to be the back of the coffin, or the bottom of the coffin if it was laying down. And then I figured out, okay, 6 foot long, about 2 foot wide, should accommodate a person who's a little under 6 foot tall. In fact, it actually looks like it would fit me pretty well. Don't tell my girlfriend that. But like to get this angle here, by the way, this up here, I just kind of guessed at it, made it 16. And this down here, I kind of guessed at it, made it 14. Figured that's going to be plenty big enough for a head. That's going to be plenty big enough for a pair of feet. Again, a lot of it's guesswork, but it's just how I do things. But like when I got to this angle here to make things meet up, I need to know how big that angle is. Now, could I use this? This is a digital angle finder. Yeah, I could. What if you don't have one of those and you want to know how to do this? Well, let me show you a neat trick. So what you do is you take your speed square, right, and you set it on there like that. So you're got one angle, it's on one angle here, and it's on the vertex of that angle there. Then you take another speed square. This does not have to be a speed square. You could also use a framing square to do this. Just almost anything 90 degrees will work. And you put this on the other side of the angle and on the vertex, on the point. And where these meet up is on about 70 degrees, actually a little bit more than 70 degrees, but close enough. So you take that 70 that this landed on, you add it to 90, and you get 160, which just happens to be what this angle is. Works on just about any angle. It, like these angles here that are 104, it would work just the same on that. So if we put that there, like that. And yeah, I also do my own oil changes here. Actually need to dump that and give this old truck over here another oil change. Right, and we get that there. Get it all lined up. And again, it's landing here, which is on 14, I think. Yep, there it is. So again, it gives us, we just take, what is that, 13 actually, or 14? That's on 14. So, and we add that to our 90, and that gives us 104. And like I said, you need at least one speed square to do this, and one that's got the protractor on it, because that's what that's there for, so you can find angles, and that will give you your angle. Like I said, you don't need another speed square. You can use a framing square. It'll do the same thing, work exactly the same way. Now, another thing I want to show here is how I figured out the spacing for the shelves. These shelves are evenly spaced. How did I do that? Well, I decided that I wanted 4 shelves, which means that I need 5 spaces. Okay, so I went from this line here to that line there, and I measured, and I got a little less than 6 foot. I got like 5'10". And from that, I divided by my spacing by 5 spaces. And that gave me the spacing for these. Now what I had to do, that spacing gave me the center line. I know each one of these is drawn a little off center. That's my bad. It'll still come out okay. There's a reason why I did this the way I did it. And actually this one, if you notice, I redrew it. But close enough, close enough. I embrace close enough. This is not high precision work. But that's the center of these. So because a board is 3/4 of an inch thick, I had to go out 3/8 on each side. And then when I got that 3/8 on each side, the long side was how I got my length. That's why that 22 is there, because from here, which would be the long side, to here, again, the long side, is 22 inches. And I can tell these are evenly spaced because 22 inches here, well, no, that one's a little different because of where the angle is. But here, you got 20, you got 17.5, and you've got 15. So it gets bigger by 2.5 inches each time. So I knew at least these 3 were evenly spaced and that angle's consistent. So it's just ways to check and work. What else do I need to tell you? You know what, that's a bit on the layout. I am going to do a full video on building this, but right now, that is the layout for it. I've got, actually, if you look over here, I've got all the boards cut and sanded. It's just a matter of snapping it all together. I'm not exactly the best carpenter, but, you know, it's going to be a nice little shelf in my apartment. It's actually going to be 2 shelves. I'm making 2 of these. My girlfriend's going to like it. She's kind of a little goth girl. I love her. So, yeah, this will be cool. Yeah, just want to quickly touch on that, quickly teach you a few things about layout. And like I said, whether you're doing carpentry or you're doing welding, it's a lot of it's going to be done the same way. It's still you're putting pieces together. You're working with angles. You're working with lengths and widths, and it's all the same. You still got to compensate for thickness of the material. All right. Well, catch you later. Love y'all. Stay busy. I'm trying to. All right. Talk to you later.